Good evening, everyone. My name is Julia Cleo Torres, and this is my educational speech. Have you ever walked into a room and suddenly forgotten why you went there? Or maybe you've met someone new, and within a few seconds, you can't remember their name. It can be frustrating, and sometimes it even makes us wonder if something is wrong with our memory. The truth is, it happens to everyone. Today, I'd like to talk about how memory works and why we forget things. Memory isn't just a storage system in our brains. It's an active process that allows us to learn, solve problems, and remember experiences. Forgetting is also a normal part of that process, not necessarily a sign that we have a bad memory. By the end of my speech, you'll understand how memories are formed, why we forget them, and what we can do to improve our memory. Memory begins with three important stages: encoding, storage, and retrieval. Encoding is when our brain takes in new information. Storage is when that information is saved. And retrieval is when we access it later. According to Kathleen B. McDermott and Henry L. Radiger III in Memory, Encoding, Storage, Retrieval, published in 2018, any successful act of remembering requires that all three stages be intact. That means even if one of those stages doesn't work properly, remembering becomes much more difficult. Think about trying to study while you're scrolling through your phone or watching TV. Your brain may never fully encode the information because your attention is divided. If the memory isn't formed well from the beginning, it's much harder to remember later. Now that we know how memories are created, it makes more sense to ask why we forget things in the first place. Many people assume forgetting means the memory is gone forever, but that's not always true. Sometimes the memory is still there. We just can't access it when we want to. According to Endel Tulvig, in his article Cue-Dependent Forgetting, published in 1974, when we forget something we once knew, it does not necessarily mean that the memory trace has been lost. It may only be inaccessible. In other words, forgetting often happens because we don't have the right cue to trigger the memory. That's why hearing a certain song, smelling a familiar perfume, or visiting a childhood place that was once special to you can suddenly bring back memories you haven't thought about in years. The memory wasn't erased. Your brain simply needed the right reminder to retrieve it. Even though forgetting is a natural part of memory, there are ways to make remembering much easier. Research shows that one of the best ways to improve memory is to make learning more active. Instead of rereading notes over and over, it's much more effective to quiz yourself. Explain the material to someone else, or practice recalling information without looking at your notes. Getting enough sleep also helps your brain strengthen and organize those memories. According to Peter C. Brown, Henry L. Roediger III, and Mark A. McDaniel in Make It Stick: The Science of Successful Learning, published in 2014, learning is deeper and more durable when it's effortful. Even though testing yourself feels harder than simply reading your notes, that extra effort actually helps your brain create stronger, longer lasting memories. Today, we explored how the brain creates memories, why forgetting is actually a normal part of memory, and the simple habits that can help us remember information more effectively. The next time you forget where you left your keys or can't remember someone's name, don't be so quick to think you have a bad memory. In many cases, your brain is doing exactly what it was designed to do. Understanding how memory works can help us study smarter, remember more, and appreciate just how incredible the human brain really is. Thank you.